Good morning, students. So today we are going to start with the part 2 of our chapter, Kingdom Animalia. So now today talking about the classification of living things. So basically, living things are majorly classified into two, animals and plants. Where animals are split into two major groups. They are chordates and non-chordates. Non-chordates. Who are non-chordates? So non-chordates are basically these are the animals without a backbone. They don't have any backbone and they are also called as invertebrates. Non-chordates are also called as invertebrates. And there are basically 10 phylums of invertebrates. There are basically 10 phylums. 10 phylums means these non-chordates or invertebrates, they are majorly classified into 10 more different phylums. So, who are they? What are the phylums? They start with Porifera and they end up with the Hemichordata. The first one is the Porifera, Cnidaria, Stenophora, Platyhelminthes, Eschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinoderms, and Echinodermata, also known as Echinoderms, and the last one is the Hemichordata. So these are the 10 phylums of the non-chordates. Okay. Now, starting with the first phylum, our first phylum is the phylum Porifera. Now, why the name is given as Porifera? Because these are pore-bearing organisms. These are pore-bearing organisms or pore-bearing animals. Okay? And these are mostly marine. They are marine also, or they are freshwater also. It means that they survive in marine water also, in sea water also, and in freshwater also. Now, the pores are also called as ostia. The pores are also called in scientific term. These pores are called as what? Ostia. And they have the cell aggregate plan. In the last lecture, we have discussed all the different types of the body plan. Under that, we have seen cell aggregate plan. So here, this phylum, the poriferans, they show the cell aggregate plan. Okay, and basically these are aquatic animals. Most of them are marine and they are freshwater also, and they are also called as sponges. Okay, they are also called as sponges. Why they are called as here? Why they are called as sponges? Because they contains the pores. In front of you there is a figure, a purple color figure. These are also one kind of the sponges who belongs to the phylum Porifera. Okay, then most of them, they have asymmetrical body. They don't have a symmetrical body, but they have a asymmetrical body type. If we cut them from the center, we don't get the two equal halves. Therefore they are called as what? They show the asymmetrical body type. Then, body of these animals consist of many cells with little division of labor. Hence, their body is considered as a colony of different types of cells. These are sedentary animals. On their body, there be a numerous minute pores, and hence they are called as what? Ostia. That right now, a few seconds ago, I have said they are called as what? Ostia. The pores are called as what? Ostia, through which water enters into the body cavity, and that cavity is called as spongiocele. They are called as what? Spongiocele. Water leaves the body through single large opening called osculum. They have one single large opening and they are called as osculum. Water is circulated in the body through the canal system. During its circulation, cells of the animal body absorb food, exchange respiratory gases, and release the excretory products. Then, spongiocele is lined by special flagellated cells called choanocytes. They are lined by special flagellated cells. These spongiocele, which is one of the cavity, the body cavity, they have the flagellated cell, the movement cell, and these are called as choanocytes or collar cells. Beating of the flagella, they creates the water current. Body of these animals is supported by calcareous or siliceous spicules or proteinaceous spongin fibers. Okay. Then coming to their reproduction level, so they reproduce asexually as well as sexually. They have both the modes of the reproduction, sexual as well as asexual. Asexual reproduction is performed by fragmentation and gemule formation. Whereas these animals have ability of regeneration. It means when we cut the animals from any of the end, it will be get again regenerated. Therefore, this is called as what? These animals have the ability of regeneration. Sexual reproduction is performed by formation of gametes, male gametes and the female gametes. Okay. Now, regarding the fertilization is internal. It is basically internal. Development takes place through indirect larval stage. The development occurs at the time of the larval stage, but that larval stage is not direct, but it is the indirect. Therefore, the larval stage is indirect. So this is all about the poriferans, and here we have completed the Porifera, the number 1 phylum. Okay. Now we will see the next phylum. Now coming to the second phylum. The second phylum is Cnidaria. The second phylum is called as Cnidaria. The example over here is Hydra aurelia. Aurelia is also called as jellyfish. Physalia, Portuguese manophore. Adamsia, which is called as sea anemone. Diploria, brain coral. Gorgonia, that is called sea fan. So these are the names of the different animals which belongs to the group Cnidaria, and they are called as what? Cnidarians. They have a thin sac-like bodies. They have a very thin sac-like bodies, and they have tentacles also. And they are marine in nature. It means they occur only in seawater. And they have the body plan whose type is blind sac body plan. Okay, the example is the coral. Coral in English, these are the corals. Basically, these are one type of the animals who give precious stones. They are called corals, and in English they are called corals, and they are somewhat orange in color. Whereas in Hindi they are called as what? Munga, and in Arabic it is called as what? Marjan. Okay, marjan, munga, also called as what? Coral. Okay, now they are aquatic, they are mostly marine, and sometimes it happens that few of them have the freshwater forms. They are sessile or free swimming. They can be free swimming. They are not sedentary, so they have the ability of free swimming. They can easily move from one place to another. Therefore, they are called as what? Free swimming. They show the radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means when we cut from the center, we get all the 5 different arms. We can show from the center of the body. We can get all the 5 different arms of the body, and they are diploblastic. Okay, it means the number of germ layers. They have the 2 number of germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm, but they don't have the mesoderm. Therefore, they are called as what? They are diploblastic. Then coming to the next, they have the blind sac body plan, as I have said just a little bit before. Then now animal exhibits 2 body forms, polyp form and cylindrical form. Okay, polyp is a cylindrical form. It exhibits 2 body forms. तो अलग अलग तरह के body forms होंगे. And what are they? They are polyp form. Polyp form means polyp means the body will be like cylindrical, like for example Hydra, as the body of the Hydra. And the second body form is Medusa. Medusa is the umbrella like body form. Is the umbrella like body form like that of the jellyfish, and that is called as what? Aurelia. Okay, so this is regarding the body forms of the cnidarians. Coming to the next, regarding the body cavity. Body cavity is meant for circulation as well as digestion. It means over here the body it does not contain any of the cavity, the main of the cavity, as it's earlier we have seen in the porifera, where the body cavity is called as what? Spongiocele. But here the body cavity is meant for circulation of the blood, and as well as for the digestion also. Hence this body cavity is called as gastrovascular cavity or coelenteron. It is also called as what? Coelenteron. Now, tentacles bear the cnidoblast. They have tentacles, I have said earlier. So, these tentacles, they bear the cnidoblast or stinging cells, which are meant for anchorage or offense and defense, which are meant for anchorage. पकड़ के एक जगह ठहरने के लिए, that for encouragement, offense and defense, अपने बचाव के लिए भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं लोग इसी चीज को, टेंटिकल्स को. Cnidarians reproduce both asexually also and sexually also. Asexual reproduction takes place by budding and regeneration. These are the types of the asexual reproduction method: budding and regeneration. Sexual reproduction takes place by gamete formation, by male gamete formation or female gamete formation. They exhibit the alteration of polyploid generation with medusoid generation. This phenomenon is called as the metagenesis. That is, the polyps produce medusa asexually and medusa produce polyps sexually. Example, the Obelia. So this is all about the phylum Cnidaria. Now, in the next topic, we will see regarding the next phylum. Now, the next phylum is Stenophora. Coming to the Stenophora, that is the third phylum. These are marine. They are radially symmetrical. They have the spherical body, and they have one of a very different characteristic, and that characteristic is bioluminescence. Bioluminescence means they emits light. And why the name is given as bioluminescence? Luminescence means emission of light, and bio means this is the living creature. This is the living creature or living thing which emits the light. So this is the nature. This is from the nature. This is from the God, that this is one of the living thing which emits the light. So the animals who have this capability to emit the light, these kind of the animals, they are called as what? Bioluminescent animals, like Jugnu. Okay, you all know, you all have you might have listened about the, you people might have heard about regarding the Jugnu. So Jugnu, it emits the light from the body, and it's quite natural. It's not man-made or artificial, but it's natural to that the body emits the light. So the animals, there are few more animals who emits the light from the body, and these type of the animals, they are called as what? They are bioluminescent, which emits the light. Okay, so the animals who belongs to this phylum Stenophora, they emits the light from their body. So these are commonly called as comb jellies. These are basically called as what? Comb jellies or sea walnuts. These are exclusively marine. They are only marine and free swimming animals. Body is diploblastic, radially symmetrical with blind side body plan. They have the animals have tissue level organization. Okay, the level of organization, it has been moved a little bit forward, and it has been upgraded to the tissue level organization. Now, regarding the locomotion is carried out by the 8 rows of ciliated comb plates. Characteristic features of stenophores is bioluminescence, what I have said right now. Now, like cnidarians, stenophores also exhibit the extra and intracellular digestion. Reproduction is sexual with indirect development. Cnidoblasts are absent, and these are called cnidarians. Instead, they have coloblast. Coloblast means they have the sticky cells to capture the prey. They have coloblast. It means they have sticky cells to capture the prey, which makes them help to capture the prey. Stenophora is represented by very few members, hence it is considered as one of the major phyla, that is called as what? The Stenophora. Hence it is considered as one of the minor, sorry, I have just mistaken from the word. I just want to recorrect my words, and that is called minor. Hence, because of this characteristic, Stenophora is represented by very few members. Hence, it is considered as one of the minor phyla. And the examples over here is that they belong. The examples are Pleurobrachia and Stenoplana. These are the examples of the phylum Stenophora. Now the next one is the mollusca, and the animals who belong to this group, this phylum, they are called as molluscans. Now, the molluscans or the molluscas, they crawl on a single fleshy pad. They crawl on a single fleshy pad. Okay? They can have a shell also. They are marine. They are bilaterally symmetrical, and the example is the snail. In the figure you can see snail. So snail, they have the covering, and they have that covering is called as what? Shell. So these molluscans, they have a shell for the covering, and they crawl on a single fleshy pad. Here you can see here they are crawling on the leaf-like structure. So therefore it is called as what? They crawl on a single fleshy pad, and they are marine. It seems that they are exclusively marine. They've only found in the marine, and they are bilaterally symmetrical, and they are oviparous. Means they lay egg at the time of the reproduction. They lay out the eggs. Therefore they are called as what? They are oviparous. This is all about the molluscas. Coming to the next phylum is the phylum Platyhelminthes. The next phylum is called as what? Phylum Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes are also called as flatworms. Why? Because platy means flat, platy means flat, and helminth means worms. So these are basically flatworms. They have flatworm-like bodies. All the platyhelminths, they have the flatworms-like bodies. They are bilaterally symmetrical. It means when we cut them from the middle section, we get the two equal halves, and therefore they are called as what? Bilaterally symmetrical. Then these are endoparasites. These acts as a parasite inside the body, and therefore they are called as what? They are endoparasites, and they are hermaphrodite. They are hermaphrodite. Okay. Then some of the more thing regarding the phylum Platyhelminthes. Body of these animals is dorso-ventrally flattened. It means from the upper side and from the upper portion and from the ventral portion, from the below side, from the dorsal side also, from the ventral side also, the body is flattened enough. Hence they are called as what? They are flatworms. Animals are acoelomate. These animals are acoelomate, means they don't have cavity or the coelom. They are triploblastic, showing organ system grade of organization, mostly endoparasitic, and few are free living. Parasitic forms shows the presence of hooks and suckers for attachment of the body of the host. Body is covered by cuticle in parasites or cilia in free living forms. Body is covered by cuticle. Cuticle is one of the covering. Cuticle is one of the covering. Here you can see the flatworms is the example of the flatworm is tapeworm also, and liver fluke also. Here in the figure you can see the figure of the tapeworm. So it's like a flatworm only, and basically these are flatworms. Then the body is covered by cuticle, the outer covering in case of parasites, or some of them the body is they are having the cilia in free living forms. But in parasites, the body is covered by cuticle, whereas in free living forms of the animals, in free living forms of the platyhelminths, they have cilia. The body is covered by cilia, a thin thread-like structure. They are called as what? Cilia. Digestive system is generally absent in parasitic forms, but in free living forms it is incomplete. And therefore they are called as what? Blind sac body plan. Animals have flame cells or protonephridia, and these animals, they have the flame cells, also called as what? Protonephridia, helpful for excretion. These are helpful for the excretion and osmoregulation. Animals are hermaphrodite, means bisexual. Sometimes they act as a male also, and sometimes they act as a female also. Therefore these animals are called as what? They are hermaphrodite, means they are bisexual. Self-fertilization is seen. Few have high power of regeneration and show the polyembryony. They show sometimes the polyembryony. Okay, so this is all about the phylum Platyhelminthes. The example is the Taenia, Planaria, Fistula. These are the phylum regarding the phylum Platyhelminthes. Coming to the next one is the Annelida. So regarding the Annelida, we will see regarding the Annelida, and the animals who belong to the Annelida, they are called as what? Annelids. This Annelida word, it derives from the word annulus. So it means they are ringworms, or they have the roundworm like bodies. They have bodies divided into segments. The example is the Nereis feritema, also called as what? Earthworm. So basically earthworm comes into this phylum called as what? Annelida, and the earthworm is called as what? Annelids. And leech is also one of the example. The scientific name of the leech is the Hirudinaria. So leech and earthworm, it belongs to this phylum called as what? Annelida. And these are basically, they have the annulus, like they have the round like structure. They are the roundworms. They are commonly called as, and basically these annelids are basically called as what? Roundworm like bodies. And the animals may be aquatic and few may be ectoparasites. They are outside, they act as a parasite but outside the body. Therefore they are called as what? They are ectoparasites, or free living, or burrowing in the moist soil. Most of the time they burrow in the moist soil, like that in case of, very similar to that of the earthworm. They show bilateral symmetry with metameric segmentation. They show bilateral symmetry with metameric segmentation. Now, what do you mean by metameric segmentation? Here on, as they are segmenting animals, at the segment number 14 and 15, they coincide with each other, and this coincide or the coincidement is called as what? The metameric segmentation. A special region of the body called as what? Clitellum is also present in them. At the 13th or 14th position of the segment, the clitellum, no, sorry, not on the 13th or 14th position, but on the 7th or 8th segment of the segment on the body, the dark band-like structure is there on the earthworm body, and they are called as what? Clitellum. Okay. Then locomotion is with the help of the longitudinal and circular muscles. Locomotory structures like seta, they have the locomotive structures. They are called as seta in case of earthworm, and parapodia in case of Nereis, or suckers in case of leech. They are present. Alimentary canal is complete. Alimentary canal is complete. Exchange of gases takes place through body wall. Circulatory system is closed type. Excretion and osmoregulation is carried out with the help of the nephridia. Nervous system consists of nerve ring and ventral nerve cord. Nerve cord is ventral, solid and ganglionated. Mostly hermaphrodites and few are dioecious in case of the Nereis. So these are regarding the phylum Annelida, and the animals who belong to this phylum, they are called as annelids. The best example over here for the annelids, the Annelida, is the earthworm, leech or Nereis. Now coming to the roundworms. Roundworms are basically, these are they have long thin roundworm like bodies, and therefore they come into the phylum called as roundworms. They have bodies with no segments. They have bodies with no segments. They don't contain any kind of the segments, as in the last one, annelids, and therefore they come into the section that is called as what? Round worms. Okay. Now coming to the next phylum. The next phylum, which this is the second last phylum, and this one is the echinoderms. Echinoderms, basically it is it's meaning, it's stand for the word echinus. It comes up with the word echinus. Echinus means spines and derma means skin. So basically their skin is very spiny, their skin is very thorny enough, very thorny and very spiny, and therefore these are called as what? Echinoderms. Okay, these are called as what? Echinoderms. And the example of the echinoderms are the example of the echinoderms are the Antedon, Ophiothrix, Asterias, and Cucumaria. These are the examples of the echinoderms. They have the bodies which are divided into 5 parts. Okay, they have spiny outer covering. Therefore, they are called as what? Echinoderms, because the word itself, echinus, echino, it's come up with the word echinus, which means spines. Okay, and the example is here sea star, which is called as what, asterias, cucumaria, which is called as what, sea cucumber, and echinus, which is called as what, sea urchin, and antedon, which is called as what, sea lily, and ophiothrix, which is called as what, brittle star. So I have given you the scientific name also. I have just spoken all the scientific name also, and along with the common name also. Okay, so these are exclusively marine. Solitary means they can live alone, and sedentary means they need some base to get attached with. It means they are sedentary, or sometimes they are free living also, and they are gregarious, benthic. These are radially symmetrical animals with pentamerous symmetry. With pentamerous symmetry means, in case of the, here from the figure itself, you can see the sea star and the sea urchin, and sea cucumber. So these they have the 5 arms, which can be radially divided, and therefore they can have the radially symmetrical body. They comes under the radially symmetrical animals with pentamerous symmetry, showing the 5 different arms of the symmetry. Body may be spherical, elongated, or star shaped. As sea urchin, they are spherical. And sea star is always, as itself the name said, the star shape. Endoskeleton is made up of calcareous ossicles, means the ossicles, their spines are made up of calcium. Therefore, the endoskeleton is made up of calcareous ossicles. Spines are present on the body, hence the name is called as what, echinodermata. The body is divided. The body is without definite body division. Instead, there are 2 sides, as oral and aboral. And aboral. The peculiar characteristic is the presence of water vascular system, in which water enters through madreporide. This system is used in locomotion, food capturing, respiration, ventral respiration, etc. Digestive system is complete. Mouth is ventrally present on oral surface, and anus is aboral surface. It means mouth and anus is both are on the opposite side, one on the oral side and the next one is the aboral side. Respiration is performed by peristomial gills, papilla, respiratory tree, etc. Circulatory system and excretory system is absent. Nervous system is simple with a nerve ring around mouth and radial nerves in the arms. Sexes are separate. Sometimes they are bisexual. It means sometimes they are hermaphrodite. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect, and they show the high power of regeneration. So this is all about the phylum Echinodermata. Now we will move to the last phylum, and that is the phylum Hemichordata. Coming to our last phylum is the Hemichordata. The word itself says it's the half chordata and half non-chordata. From here only, the different features of the chordates started. Therefore, it is half chordata. Therefore, it is called as what? Hemichordata. Now, they are exclusively marine. They are unsegmented. They don't have the segmented body. Then, likewise, the platyhelminthes. Okay. Then, coming to the next one, they are worm-like. And the example is Balanoglossus and Saccoglossus. Earlier, this phylum was considered as subphylum of Chordata because buccal diverticulum was considered as notochord, but now it is placed as a separate phylum of non-chordata. These are exclusively marine animals, usually living at the bottom of the sea in burrows. Mostly these are free living, but the animals like Rhabdopleura are sedentary. Body is soft, wormiform, unsegmented, and divided into 3 parts: proboscis, collar, and trunk. The body is divided into 3 parts, and that part is the proboscis, collar, and trunk. Proboscis is the uppermost part, whereas the collar is the secondmost part, and the trunk is the body part. The middle portion, that is the body part, that is called as what? The trunk. Okay. Coming to the next point, that is the buccal cavity gives rise to rod-like buccal diverticulum. The buccal cavity gives rise to rod-like buccal diverticulum, which is considered as a notochord by some scientists, and therefore they have been kept into this phylum. And this phylum is called as what? The Hemichordata, that is the half chordata or the half rod. and the example is the Melanoglossus, also Saccoglossus. And here we have ended up with our today's lecture. Inshallah, we'll meet you in the next lecture very soon. Till then, take care, stay healthy, stay blessed.